While both the 2024 Dodge Charger R/T and 2024 Ford Mustang GT are iconic American muscle cars, they cater to different driving styles and needs. 2023 Dodge Charger starting at $36,920 and 2024 Ford Mustang starting at $32,515. Here's a quick comparison to help you decide which might be a better fit for you. Performance. Engine. The Mustang GT boasts a 5.0L V8 engine churning out 480 horsepower and 415 lb-ft of torque. The Charger R/T, on the other hand, packs a 5.7L HEMI V8 with 370 horsepower and 390 lb-ft of torque. Transmission. Both offer an 8-speed automatic transmission as standard, with the Mustang GT also offering a 6-speed manual option for a more engaging driving experience. Acceleration. The Mustang GT edges out the Charger R/T with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 4.3 seconds compared to 4.8 seconds. Practicality. Body style. The Charger R/T is a 4-door sedan, offering more passenger and cargo space than the 2-door coupe Mustang GT. This makes the Charger a more practical choice for everyday driving in families. Fuel economy. The Mustang GT has a slight edge in fuel efficiency, achieving an estimated 15 miles per gallon in the city and 25 miles per gallon on the highway, compared to the Charger R/T's 14 miles per gallon city and 22 miles per gallon highway. Overall, choose the Mustang GT if you prioritize exhilarating power, agile handling, and a classic 2-door sports car look. You might also appreciate the option for a manual transmission. Choose the Charger R/T if you need the practicality of a 4-door sedan with ample space for passengers and cargo. While it sacrifices some performance compared to the Mustang, it still offers a thrilling muscle car experience. Ultimately, the best choice depends on your individual needs and preferences. Consider taking both cars for a test drive to get a feel for their driving dynamics and see which one resonates more with you. Muscle cars are meant to bark through the neighborhood between streetlights, and the Dodge Charger has been off its leash for plenty of years now. More than a decade into its current generation, the seemingly ageless Charger comes standard with a 292 horsepower V6 and rear-wheel drive, with an all-wheel drive option should you need it. Consider this version the calm older dog of the lineup. But there's also bark and bite in the Charger family. Step up to the R/T trim for the 370 horsepower 5.7-liter V8 engine. Scat Pack models get even more power, with a 6.4-liter, 485 horsepower V8. The tire-killing supercharged Hellcat models get even wilder but are reviewed separately. If the Charger drives like an old cop car, that's because it is. And while the world shifts to alternative energy, the Charger keeps on chugging along as a sedan version of the coupe-bodied, gasoline-fired Challenger. One day cars like the Charger will be against all the rules, but for now this V8-powered sedan remains loud and proud. There we were, that vapor blue Ford Mustang GT and me, at a Pasadena stoplight, windows down, waiting to enter a freeway. A black Tesla Model 3 rolled up alongside. The driver, in his late 20s, smiled at the Ford through an open window. "Nice," he offered. Change comes for everything, even cars that rarely change much. When the light turned green, we waved goodbye. I made a hard left onto a tight on-ramp, and the rear tires slithered a bit on exit, and there was a deeply satisfying blast to redline in first gear, the 5.0 spewing torque and brap as the San Gabriel Mountains behind arced skyward under golden light, and I found myself thinking not at all of pixels but definitely of why every person in America should want at least one V8 Mustang and probably 2 or 3, especially on blue sky days in Rolling Land during what we're told is the time of the Petromuscle sunset. For 2023, Dodge has dropped not-so-subtle hints of the current Charger's end-of-year demise. While this chapter comes to a close, we expect the next-generation Charger to include an electric powertrain with horsepower at the forefront of that effort. The 2023 Charger wears special commemorative last call plaques under the hood to indicate that this is the final model year of the current generation, and Dodge will offer popular colors from the car's past, including Plum Crazy, B5 Blue, and Sublime Green. All R/T models gain a new 345 badge on the front fender to pay tribute to the HEMI V8 engine that resides under the car's long, vented hood. Then, naturally, we came to a screeching halt in stop-and-go traffic. Southern California, great but imperfect, as ever. And a new Mustang for 2024, the sixth major revamp in 60 years, same. Big changes matter with cars like this, but small ones can matter more. Months back, when Ford unveiled that glassy cockpit, with a 13.2-inch infotainment touchscreen and a 12.4-inch digital instrument cluster, loyalists scowled. Mustangs had never worn anything like it. Gone was the old double-brow dash, a family hallmark. The Charger channels its NASCAR roots with big V8 power and rowdy sounds. However, not every Charger has a mighty HEMI V8 under the hood, what a pity, but they do all share an excellent 8-speed automatic transmission and standard rear-wheel drive. In contrast, the V6 is subdued but does add the availability of all-wheel drive. Dodge doesn't build a Charger with a manual gearbox, but it would be so much cooler if it did. The standard V6 is no slouch, yet it lacks the giddy-up of front drivers such as the Nissan Maxima. The more powerful versions excel at the strip, where the 485 horsepower Charger R/T Scat Pack posted an impressive 3.8-second sprint to 60 miles per hour. The 370 horsepower Charger has enough ponies to outrun most family sedans. The bright, green Go Charger we paraded around town had a quiet and composed ride. Its large 20-inch wheels were relaxed on most surfaces, but obstacles such as railroad crossings and potholes disrupted its composure. The big bodied sedan was remarkably balanced when cornering, too. Although the V6 version we tested had nearly identical cornering grip, the Daytona's hefty horsepower advantage amplified the fun. The electrically assisted power steering contributes to the Charger's purposeful control, but its feedback is too heavy and slow to be engaging. We've tested several Chargers for emergency braking, and the best results came from the high-performance models with upgraded brakes and stickier summer performance tires. Other details are more critical. Ford calls the new platform S650. It's a moderate update of the outgoing Mustang, the S550, which first met dealers for 2015. Just as last year, there are three variants: the EcoBoost Turbo 2.3-liter 4, the 5.0-liter V8 GT, and the track-focused GT-based Dark Horse. Key updates include a bit more power, a stiffer structure, a retuned suspension, and a quicker ratio for the electrically assisted power steering, from 16.0 to 1 to 15.5 to 1. The vacuum-operated brake booster gets replaced by an electronic unit that's a bit grabby at parking lot speeds but otherwise nicely transparent. Cosmetically, little carries over. The new styling is essentially S550 with less fillip and more sneer. The taillights and trunk lid now form a concave V deep enough to hold shadow in daylight. The net effect is a car that looks smaller but isn't. The GT receives a larger and more fish-mouthed grille than the EcoBoost, as well as hood extractor vents. In coupe form, a convertible remains available. The new GT is as wide as the old but 0.9 inch longer and 0.7 inch taller, its wheelbase 0.1 inch shorter. Our manual-equipped premium GT with the performance package crosses the scales at 3,947 pounds, 69 pounds heavier than an identically equipped S550. The Charger is a big, heavy car with a healthy appetite for fuel. Although it has below-average EPA estimates in the city, it has fairly competitive highway ratings. While we haven't tested the 5.7-liter V8 on our 75 miles per hour real-world fuel economy route, which is part of our extensive testing regimen, we have tested the V6 with all-wheel drive and the larger 485 horsepower V8. Surprisingly, both engines were within 1 mile per gallon of each other, with the 6 earning 26 miles per gallon on the highway and the 8 earning 25 miles per gallon. Mustang. The EPA estimates the 4-cylinder Mustang is good for 22 miles per gallon city and 33 miles per gallon highway. Adding the optional performance package to that obviously erodes some fuel economy for the sake of power, but not dramatically, 21 miles per gallon city and 29 miles per gallon highway. The last-gen Mustang's V8 growled its way to an EPA-rated 15 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway, automatic transmission, and that's still true with today's car. The Mustang GT with a 6-speed manual gets 14 miles per gallon city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway. The 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse is the least careful with its gasoline, getting just 14 miles per gallon in the city and 22 miles per gallon on the highway. On our 75 miles per hour highway fuel economy route, a GT model with a 6-speed manual returned 24 miles per gallon. The EcoBoost model with the automatic transmission delivered 32 miles per gallon. The Charger's interior is highly functional yet the opposite of luxurious, with more rubberized materials than the set of an adult film. Apart from excellent rear seat legroom, its passenger space is slightly below average. The cabin's simplistic design is classic muscle car, but options are plentiful. Although its trunk volume is similar to those of most rivals, the Charger was able to fit an extra carry-on box than its rivals. It held 18 total with the rear seat stowed, beating the Maxima and the fastback hatchback Kia Stinger by 3. Its center console features plenty of spots for small items and a slot alongside the shifter that is perfect for storing your smartphone. From the driver's seat of the 2024 Mustang, every detail has been chiseled in place with what Ford is calling a fighter jet-inspired design. Thankfully, it's more comfortable than it sounds and we found the seats to be plenty supportive. While we wait to find out if the Mustang's performance will break the sound barrier, its standard 12.4-inch instrument cluster is a massive leap ahead of the previous cars. The configurable display can be customized to fit the needs of most red, white, and blue patriots, with selectable colors, gauges, and even a calm screen that reveals only the most necessary details. Ambient lighting and a driver's display adapt to whichever drive mode you've selected. Base Mustangs come with cloth seats and available micro-suede vinyl inserts, while the premium level adds stitched bits and pieces from door trim to dashboard. The Mustang GT gets leather inserts. Ford has also introduced a remote rev function that allows the car's engine to blast. Up the RPMs with a simple click from the key fob while you admire the sounds from outside the car. The Charger. Every Challenger has a version of the excellent Uconnect infotainment system. That means standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is part of a 7.0-inch or 8.4-inch touchscreen. Although the system we tested elicited good response times, some optional controls can only be accessed via the touchscreen. A Wi-Fi hotspot also is unavailable.